Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let us start. So, we'll be starting our next chapter today. Uh, am I audible? Everyone is here, right? So, we'll be starting our next chapter today, which is requirement modeling. Now, this chapter is basically useful for your practical purpose because we will be studying about all the different kinds of system models in this particular chapter, which you have to use, the concepts you have to use during your lab practicals, right? So as of now, I feel that I should directly take it in the lab, but since one batch is not with me, so that is why I'm teaching it here. Otherwise, all three batches are with me. But since one batch is not with me, so that is why I'm covering it in the class itself, right? So the chapter is taken from Roger Pressman. Two chapters are there, 6 and 7. So it's a combination of both, right? Now let us directly jump into the requirement modeling. So generally we have studied when we were studying about software requirements. So I told you that first is you collect the requirements and then you convert it into a proper specification format, right? What is that proper specification format? It is basically your system models. I hope you remember that diagram. Just, yeah, this one. So this was the requirement engineering process. So we have studied this part, right? Feasibility report that is completed. I mean, we know that what all things are part of feasibility report. And then we had completed this part, right? User and system requirement. Now we are in this part, elicitation and analysis. And what is the outcome of this particular phase? It is basically system models. So from today, we will be studying about the different kinds of system models which are required, which you basically convert your requirements which are in a textual format into a diagrammatical representation, right? So जैसे हम लोगों ने अभी तक पढ़ा था ना, what we had studied, we had basically find out our FR, right? We had find out our FR. FR is your functional requirement. Now this FR we had written in what kind of format? We had written it in type of natural language, right? English language we had written in the SRS document. Now what you will do? So basically you will be converting these FRs, that is your functional requirement, in terms of system models. And what are these system models? So basically these system models are nothing but diagrammatical representation of your requirements, right? So this is in terms of natural language. System models are basically in terms of diagrammatical form. This FR is basically your user and system requirements that we had studied as a part of. I told you that user requirements are just abstract statements, high level abstract statements, and system requirements are basically the step by step procedure of how to achieve this user requirement. I hope that you remember it, right? So now today we'll be talking about the system models. So the system models I have represented, written it over here in a precise manner. You can take a screenshot of this so that it's, I mean, you remember it. So basically, these many diagrams we have to study. So when you talk about system models, they are divided into 5 types of models: scenario based model, class based model, data model, flow oriented model, and behavioral model, right? scenario based model we'll cover today. Out of this, one would be very familiar to all of you, which is this ER diagram, right? You have studied ER diagram, no? In DBMS. Can I get a response? You have studied it, right? ER diagram. So what do you do in ER diagram? Basically, you play with the data, right? Whatever database tables that you create, you play with the data. You show the relationship between the tables. So that is what? That is data model. So your tables, whatever database tables you have, those database tables will have some attributes, right? And these attributes will be finally having the actual data. So what you do in data models is that you basically find out the entities, right? And you show the relationship between these entities, right? That is what you do in data model. So this model is known to you, this one. Rest all models, of course, would not be known to you and we would be learning about them. One second. Right? So we'll be talking about scenario-based model today. Now, let us jump to scenario-based model. Now, when I talk about scenario-based model, the first diagram in scenario-based model is your use case diagram. Now, always understand that scenario-based models are represented in the form of from the viewpoint of an actor. Or when I say actor, actor here is nothing but a stakeholder. So in our previous chapter, whenever let's say I have library management system, so I have told you that find out the stakeholders, first find out the stakeholders, and then find out the functional requirement for each stakeholder. This is what we have done till now, right? Now, when I want to represent the same thing in form of diagram, the first diagram is use case diagram. Okay, let's talk in terms of library management system only. What is a scenario over here? Let's say, what is a scenario in library management system? So I have told you that each FR that you are writing is basically a scenario. Like one of my first FR would be what? Login, right? Let's say second FR is registration, right? Third FR is, let's say, issue book, right? And so on. So return book and browse through the books. All these are what? These all are my FRs, which are functional requirement. So in terms of use case diagram, now I will say that these all are my scenarios, right? In terms of use case diagram. Now please understand some of the terminologies that we use in use case diagram. First is our actors. Now what are these actors? These actors are nothing but the stakeholders only, which are basically your users of the system, right? जो SRS के अंदर आपने जितने भी users list down किए हैं, those all are your actors basically, right? Then another is your use cases. What are these use cases that we'll talk about? Then you have relationships. What are these relationships? These relationships can be include, extend, right, and generalization. Okay, and then you have the flow, that is I'll say association. Association is basically how you connect one thing to another thing. Like you have a straight line, the straight line is called your association. Okay, and then you have system boundary. So every use case diagram that you are going to create will have all these 5 things in it for sure: actors, use cases, relationships, association, and system boundary. Is it understood till now? Any doubt till now before I proceed further? How to create a use case diagram? Please let me know. Okay. Now I'll directly take one of the use case diagrams from internet itself so that it's easier for you to understand. So you can also refer to this website javatpoint.com. So it has good examples. So see, when you go to use case diagram, so here the use case diagram is for online shopping, right? Now see this particular diagram. Now when you see this diagram, the rectangle box which is created, this rectangle box which is created is basically your system boundary. Okay, so what does it depict? What is the meaning of that? It means that supposingly if you are having a software, right? So if there is a software, your actors would be outside the software and your requirements would be inside the software, right? Your actual instruction, your actual code or the task which is performed by the software would be a part of the software, and the people, the users who are going to interact with it would be outside the software, right? The same way is represented over here by means of the system boundary. What the system boundary tells you is that all the use cases, what are these use cases? These use cases are nothing but your functional requirements, right? So all the use cases will be inside the system boundary and all the actors will be outside the system boundary. So how many actors are here? One is registered customer, one is new customer. This I will tell you what is the meaning. Then there is one service authentication, identity provider, credit payment service, and PayPal. Right? So these many users are there in the system who are going to. So who are the actors? The actors are nothing but those people who are going to interact with the software. So if I see this particular diagram, how will I read it? In a simpler way, how will I read it? So if I have connected registered user with view items, which is this relationship? Can you please tell me what is this straight line? Can you tell me what is the straight line? I just told you. It is relationship? No. It is what? It is association. Na? I just told you. Association is straight line, right? So if I want to connect a use case with actor, then I will use association, which is a straight line. Don't make a arrow. This is wrong. आपको बहुत सारे जगह पे इंटरनेट पे एरोज मिलेंगे, आप एरोज कभी नहीं बनाओगे. It is a simple line. So whenever you are connecting a use case with an actor, you need to use association, which is this straight line, right? Never use arrows. Don't use arrows. I will not consider it. Okay. Now, when I read this diagram, how will I read it? So because I have connected a registered customer with view items, I will say that a registered customer can view the items. Now, registered customer is not connected with client register, right? Registered connector is not connected with client register. So, ये जो functionality होगी, whatever functionality is this client register, registered customer will not be doing that, right? It is connected with what? It is connected with new customers. So how will you read it? A new customer is going to do the registration. Of course, registered customer would already be registered, so that is why he is not connected with this particular use case. Right? Can you understand what I'm talking about? So that is the meaning of association. So whenever you are connecting a use case with a actor, means that that particular actor is going to perform this particular task from the software. तो जहां connection नहीं होगा means it is not going to perform that particular task from the software. So by seeing this entire use case right now, forget about what is include and this part that I will tell you. By seeing this diagram, what will you understand? That these many actors are there in my system, and every actor is going to perform which task. So it is going to perform the task which is connected to it. Are you understanding? Please let me know if you have any doubt over here by seeing this diagram. Till now, do you have any doubt? I don't know why today you all people are not responding. Are you all here? Janil, this is not arrow. This is generalization, which I have not talked about yet. The arrow is different. This arrow is different, and this arrow is different. This is nothing in use case. This is a generalization relationship, which I have not talked about till now. Okay. So, okay. Now, when I say that I have to create a use case diagram, please understand that there is not only one use case. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ एक ही use case diagram होगा. ठीक है? Use case diagrams are multiple use case diagrams. Now, what you have to do is, if I will say there is one main use case diagram, this main use case diagram will consist of all actors plus all major functionalities. ठीक है? तो अभी अगर मैं यहाँ पे देखती हूँ, मेरे पास सारे एक्टर्स हैं, and I will say that all major functionalities I have listed in this use case. Now, if you go further, we'll go further down. We'll go and see down. So you will see one more use case diagram. Okay, what is this one more use case diagram depicting over here? This one more use case diagram is related to which use case? View items. So आपने basically क्या किया? It's like a tree-like structure, no? So you have all major functionalities. Let's say you have three functionalities, A, B, and C. These are the three major functionalities that you have presented in your main use case diagram. Now, what would be your next use case diagram? Next use case diagram will be for functionality A. Functionality A के अंदर अगर multiple steps हैं, so all those will be a part of your second use case diagram. ऐसे ही B का भी separate steps होगा in order to perform this B task. So then it will be a third use case diagram. And then C also will be having some stepwise, because main लिखा है ना, हमने सिर्फ main use cases लिखे हैं. So we have not listed down all the use cases over here in the main use case diagram, first use case diagram. Let's say first use case, not main use case, first use case. So then this will be your fourth use case diagram. ठीक है? तो आप कैसे लिखोगे इसको? I'll tell you. 1 second. Okay, let me say that my first use case, this one that I have created over here, this use case will be your first use case. उसका नाम आप क्या दोगे? जो आपका प्रोजेक्ट का नाम है. जैसे अगर मैंने ये वाला दिया है, ये वाला अगर मैं देख रही हूँ, तो मेरा इसका नाम क्या है? ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग. कैन यू सी इट इज रिटन ओवर हियर, ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग. तो आप अंदर भी लिख सकते हो, इट इज अप टू द सॉफ्टवेयर दैट यू आर यूजिंग. तो कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर में अंदर लिखते हैं, मतलब इट अलाउज यू टू राइट इनसाइड. सो यू कैन राइट ओवर हियर ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग. Okay, and then you will have three use cases. Let me just give an example. Okay, this is just an example. So I have three use cases. This is A, this is B, and this is C. And then all actors that I have would be connected to A, B, and C. Okay, let me just make simple one. So this is your first use case. What is your second use case? Your second use case is basically a detailed representation of first functional requirement, first scenario, first use case. तो ये आपका यहाँ पे नाम क्या आएगा? Which system you would be writing here? A. Or if you write here, then it is A. And then A से related जितने भी सब task हैं या सब functional requirements हैं, that you will write over here. Let's say you have A1, A2, A3. Now tell me which actor will come over here? Will all the actors come over here? Let's say I have here three actors. Actor AC1, AC2 and AC3 is also here. AC3. ठीक है, अभी this is connected with it. How many actors will come in the second use case? A1 and AC1 and AC3, because in the main use case you have connected A with two actors, which is AC1 and AC3. AC2 is nowhere related to the functionality A, so it will not come over here. So that you need to keep into consideration. ठीक है, अभी ये सब कनेक्ट होंगे सबके साथ. Okay, now your third use case will be what? Will be related to B. This is your third use case. And B के सारे functionalities आएंगे. ठीक है, B1, B2, B3. And which actor will come? Only one actor, which is AC2. Because in your main use case, B is connected with only AC2. So only AC2 will come over here. And same thing, fourth के लिए, you will have another use case, which is C. So you will have C1, C2, let's say I have only two functionalities. And you will connect only AC1 with it, because in your main use case, you have connected only AC1. Do we need to go on and continue with? If you have, Harshil, if you have more sub-functionalities for A1, then you have to create for A1 as well. But we don't expect that you go in that much deep. It's fine if you don't go. But in general, when you talk about use cases, because the functionalities are so deep that use cases are made for A1, A2, A3 as well. Now also please understand that आप जब करोगे इसको यूज केस बनाओगे तो आप बोलोगे कि मेरे हर फंक्शनैलिटी के अंदर सब फंक्शनैलिटी नहीं है. सो इट्स ओके, इट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड दैट ए की भी सब फंक्शनैलिटीज हो, बी की भी सब फंक्शनैलिटीज हो और सी की भी हो. नॉट नेसेसरी, राइट? ऐसा नहीं मैं बोल रही हूँ दैट बनाने ही बनाने हैं, बट हाँ, एक ही यूज केस बना के अगर आप छोड़ दोगे तो दैट इज नॉट राइट, बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक दैट your system is so small that you can just finish it off with one use case. Right? So sometimes I will say that C doesn't have sub functionality, so you don't need to create this diagram for C. One more use case diagram for C functionality, right? It's possible. So that's okay. I hope I'm understood here. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं if I go back to my diagram, you will see over here, does college access for making okay, so Harshil, you have to create these diagrams on an online software. Its name is Lucidchart. So when you open this Lucidchart, it is an online diagram software. Actually you have AlgoUML also in college, but it is not user friendly. I mean, it is an open source software, Otherwise, we have Microsoft Visual Studio, but that is a paid software, right? So Argo UML is there, which would be okay. So in exam, you have to make it pen and paper. Exam, you have to make it pen and paper, but in lab practicals, you have to make it online. In exam, it would be asked. 1 or 2 diagrams would be asked. So that would be pen and paper. Okay. I hope it is clear. So now let's jump back to our usual. Okay. So I'll say that view items जो है, view items के लिए I have created one more use case. What is this extend and all that I will tell you right now. Let's just focus on how many types of use cases, numbers of use cases you need to create, right? Now see, it is written. View items is further extended by several use cases such as search items, browse items, view recommended items, add to shopping cart, add to wish list. So I will connect everything with this view item by a relationship. I will tell you the meaning of this relationship later on. Okay. Now, if we go further, I have one more use case. This use case is for checkout. So similarly, the checkout use cases, I am going to represent it more. ठीक है, तो ये चेकआउट मेरा कहाँ पे था, यहाँ पे था, और व्यू आइटम्स भी मेरा यहाँ पर था. तो मैंने व्यू आइटम्स के लिए एक और यूज केस बनाया है, और चेकआउट के लिए भी मैंने एक और यूज केस बनाया, विच इज दिस वन. राइट, हाउ, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ एवरीथिंग दैट वी विल सी, दैट आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू, तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इट. बट हैव आई क्रिएटेड अ separate use case for make purchase and client register? Has it been created over here? No, it's not, because as per the requirements, make purchase and client register ka or sub functionalities are not available. So it's not compulsory to create a sub use case for every main use case in your diagram. Okay, if you feel that there are no sub functionalities, you can skip that. But you cannot tell me that I will make my entire system in a single use case diagram. That's not possible, because I have told you to take a big system, so you have to make multiple use cases. Am I understood? This much is understood to all of you? Please let me know. Yes, please let me know if you have any doubt till now, because later on I am going to go further into relationships. So for that, you should understand the basic concept of use case diagram. Okay. Okay, so let us now start with our three relationships, which is include, extend, and generalization. We'll first start with include. Now, when you talk about this include relationship, say please use the notations in a proper way. If you write include like this, I'll make an example. If you write include like this, that you have a use case which is U1, and let's say another use case U2, and then if you write like this include, this is wrong. Okay, please use the notation properly. So it is a dotted line and it has to be written in between these two brackets. This is the include relationship. It is a standard notation. So this is not correct. Okay, same goes over here. Extend also, dotted line. The arrow is changing, that I will tell you what is the meaning of arrow. But please maintain the notation. Okay, it's not includes and it's not extends. Mind that as well. This is wrong. This is wrong. It is include and extend. Okay, please remember that. Now let us understand the meaning of include relationship. By the name itself, you will understand, ma'am, it needs to be, uh, see, when you are making it in a software, it will be a straight line itself. When you are writing it in the notebook, you can, it's fine if you create a arced line, because in notebook it would be difficult to draw, that's why. Right, so when you are talking about include relationship, you just understand the meaning, the relationship by the name itself. Include means what? Include means what? English meaning? Yes, include meaning what? Consider it. Okay, part of. Okay, let's just understand that, let's say if I want to do login, and I have two use cases, login and register. Right now, when I want to do login, I can do login only when the registration is done. Isn't it true? I can do login only if my registration part is over. If my registration is not, if there is no registered user, I cannot do login. Right? Okay, this is understood. Now, so this example over here is given in terms of transaction. So bank ATM transaction can only be done if the customer is authenticated, right? So if I am connecting a, use case, so if let's say there is a customer is there, and then I have a bank ATM transaction, right? Bank ATM transaction is a use case. Don't go with my drawing right now because I'm making it very bad. Because of the pen I'm using. Okay, so bank ATM is there. Now, if I will put a include relationship, if I put a include relationship with what? Authentication, right? This is the include relationship with authentication. What does that mean? How will you read this diagram? This diagram is read in a way that a customer can do bank ATM authentication only, bank ATM transaction only if the authentication is done. So which use case will happen first? Which use case will happen first? Which functionality will happen first? First, the functionality will be authentication, and then the functionality will be transaction. Now, since it is an include relationship, that means this particular include the relationship, the use case that you are including will be automatically completed. authentication will happen, then only transaction will happen. So what is it in terms of actual technical terms? I'll say that base use case is incomplete. What is the base use case over here? My base use case is the one which is the main use case. This one. Base use case is bank ATM transaction through which my actor is connected. My actor is not connected to authentication. What will happen if my actor is connected to authentication? What will happen? Only authentication will take place. The actor is not connected to bank ATM transaction. And suppose if you connect with both, this is also wrong. Why it is wrong? Because already when my bank ATM transaction is happening, automatically authentication तो हो ही रहा है. तो आपको ये, this is ambiguity. This is ambiguity now. Because any which ways, due to this include relationship, authentication is going to take place. So you do not need to connect customer with auth. See, what students do is that they make a big use case. They make a big use case. They make a lot of use cases and they connect everything with everything. This is wrong. You need to think logically as per your functional requirements. ठीक है? तो अगर आप ऐसा करोगे कि इसको भी कनेक्ट कर दिया, इसको भी कनेक्ट कर दिया, तो ये वाला गलत है. This is wrong. This one is wrong. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Since it is automatically getting included, so I'll say that this one is my base use case, and it's written that base use case is incomplete. Why base use case is incomplete? Because of the included use case. So you see over here, it's written included use case required, not optional. So this is my included use case. It is compulsory. It's not optional. Right? This is compulsory. Include का मत, और एरो आप कैसे ध्यान रखो, अभी उल्टा एरो डालोगे तो गलत हो जाएगा. एरो आपको हमेशा किस जगह पे डालना है? टुवर्ड्स द इंक्लूडेड यूज केस. यू थिंक इन दिस वे, ए टू बी. राइट? तो इसका मतलब क्या होगा? बी विल हैपन फर्स्ट एंड देन ए विल हैपन. द मीनिंग इज लाइक दैट. Okay, so this is your base use case, bank ATM transaction through which your main actor is connected, and this is your included use case. ठीक है, ये दोनों का मतलब मैं आपको बताती हूँ बाद में. अभी इतना समझ में आया? What is the meaning of include relationship? So ma'am, here bank ATM is including authentication. Yes, Janil. Bank ATM transaction is including authentication means authentication will happen first and then bank ATM transaction will take place. If authentication is not happening, then bank ATM transaction cannot take place. That is the meaning. So if we go to our diagram, the diagram that I showed just right now, this one. So how will you read? How will you read it? So here, if I want to make a purchase, right? If I want to make a purchase, I need to first check out. है ना, logical है ना? If I put some items in my cart, let's say I'm buying something from Amazon, and if I'm putting something inside my cart, I can do the purchase only when I check out. Check out means what? Payment and all. ठीक है, तो आप कुछ अलग नाम भी दे सकते हो. Here it is given checkout. So when I check out, that means when I do the payment, then only I can make the purchase. That is the meaning. So can you see registered customer is not connected with checkout. It is only connected with make purchase, because checkout alone doesn't make a sense. Right? Checkout alone doesn't make a sense. Checkout is only related to payment. So first I will do payment, then only I can say that I have done some purchasing. Now when I come over here, so if you see both are connected. Why both are connected? Why both are connected? Can you give me a reason for it? Is it necessary that every time I want to make a purchase, if I want to view items, I need to make a purchase? Is it necessary? Can't I directly just view the items? It's not required ना कि मुझे purchase करना ही पड़ेगा अगर मुझे सिर्फ items view करने हैं, तो इसीलिए registered customer is connected with view items. But there is an include relationship also, which shows that how will I read this? I will read that when I want to make a purchase, I need to view items. View items, you need to view the items, select the items and add them. That is the meaning. But वो सब आप यहाँ पे नहीं लिख सकते हो ना. You cannot write everything, that search item, add item, all these things you cannot write it over here. So you have given a common name, view items, right? So when you want to make a purchase, you are going to view the items and then only you can make a purchase. The meaning is that. But if you don't put this line over here, this line if you remove from here, it means what? If I remove this line from here, it means that I have to always make a purchase. I cannot only view the items and leave it. I need to always make a purchase in order to view the items. That's not correct. I don't want to always buy something. I can just browse through something and leave it as it is, right? That's why I have connected these two, registered customer with view items. Please tell me, subsystem is compulsory. So Harshal, it depends that what kind of software you are using. It's not a compulsion. This is just the representation of the software. Janil, no, it will not be always ambiguous. You have to see the requirement. If the requirement is such that one requirement is independent on its own, then you can connect it. Right? You can connect it. It's fine. जैसे बैंक एटीएम में it doesn't make sense ना, you just think कि बैंक एटीएम में if you are connecting one second, if you are connecting customer with auth, does it make any sense that you have just authenticated yourself but you are not doing anything? So it doesn't make any sense, right? If you are going to do authentication, means you are going to do some kind of transaction, then only you are going to enter some pin and put your card and enter pin and get yourself authenticated. So if I connect these two, it doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. That's why I don't need to connect it over here. But here it makes sense that I am just wanting to view some item, so that is why I can connect it. If I don't connect this line, this particular line, it means that I have to always make a purchase. I cannot just view items and leave it, right? That is the meaning. So every time it is not ambiguous. You need to see the relationship between the actor and the requirement. Please let me know, did you understand this much? See, this is the first diagram. If your first diagram goes wrong, later all diagram goes wrong. So you need to create your use case diagram very properly. So did you understand the meaning of include relationship? Now, see, when you go for view items, like I said, add item, search item, ये सब आप साथ में नहीं लिख सकते हो यहाँ पर. तो आपने क्या किया? View items का एक separate use case बनाया. अभी ये extend का मतलब मैं next time समझाऊंगी, but अभी आप सिर्फ इतना देख लो. View items के साथ कौन कौन से use cases connected है, जो सब होते हैं purchase करने के लिए. Search item, browse item, view recommended item, add to shopping cart, add to wish list. Now also see one thing, that here तो that is there. ठीक है, उतना समझ में आया आपको? तो ये सब चीजें मैं यहाँ पे नहीं लिख सकती हूँ, इतना सब लिखने का पॉइंट नहीं है. तो क्या किया मैंने, उसको एक कॉमन यूज केस बनाया जिसका नाम है व्यू आइटम्स. यू कैन गिव सम अनदर नेम, इट्स नॉट कंपल्सरी दैट व्यू आइटम ही देना है, बट गिव सम मीनिंगफुल नेम. right? By seeing that, you should understand that okay, it's related to items. तो अभी क्या आप कैसे रीड करोगे? मेक परचेज अगर मुझे करना है तो मैं सर्च भी कर सकती हूँ, मैं व्यू रिकमेंडेड आइटम भी कर सकती हूँ, ऐड टू शॉपिंग कार्ट भी कर सकती हूँ, ऐड टू विश लिस्ट भी कर सकती हूँ। तो जब मुझे मेक परचेज करना है तो which use case should be common, I mean which use case is logical? Add to shopping cart. जब add to shopping cart होगा तो ही आप make purchase कर सकते हो, right? So you add to the shopping cart, then it is including checkout also, so you do the payment, and when both the use cases are done, I'll say that I have done the purchase. The meaning is like that. Okay, also you cannot make something like this. आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते हैं, ये ऐसे आपने इंक्लूड कर दिया, ठीक है, और फिर यहाँ पर एक यूज केस बनाया और ये यहाँ से इंक्लूड कर दिया, ऐसे नहीं करना है। हाँ, डोंट डू लाइक दिस। ये कोई चेन नहीं है, हमको चेन नहीं बनानी है। So you please understand that there is no chained relationship over here. Okay, so I'll stop here now. We'll discuss the extends relationship tomorrow. Right? Please tell me if you have any doubt. Please tell me you understood. Give some response. At least a thumbs up that you have understood. Okay, great. ठीक है, चलो, you can leave the meeting. You can go for your next class.